Yes. We are live. June's Monday Quarterback, Season 7, Episode 18. We got a great show for y'all like we always do every Monday around this time from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. As y'all can see, I got a good friend of mine in the building, Mr. the capital from the capital of how you say let me let you introduce yourself.
So my name is Ian Rakelli, and I'm from the sports and entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Honestly, we're everything capital of the world. We're the wedding capital of the world, the sports betting capital of the world, getting all your money taken capital of the world. I mean, it's just what it is.
Yeah. So this is the first time joining me on June's Monday Quarterback. So before we start, you know how we do. All right. We're back, man. Our Top Sports, man, radio. June's Quarterback on Monday Quarterback, man. And it's the final week of the regular season. It was a crazy one. Man. So you know how we do it. Every Monday we recap all the games from yesterday afternoon, evening, and this is pretty much it, man. We got the playoff, and the playoff is set. At the last night, game is set, and we got the schedule. So we're going to talk about all the games today. We also going to talk about it is Black Monday. It's Black Monday, NFL Black Monday, and it's a couple of coaches got fired. You got coordinators that got fired. We just got some news about other coordinators getting fired. So we'll go over all that. Then and then towards the end of the show, we picked our top 2 quarterbacks from week 18 and the worst quarterback from week 18. So let's get into it, man. Okay, so how we doing it, man? We're gonna start sing it. Listen, BJ in the comments. All right, I'm gonna send it. I forgot there ain't no Monday night game today. We do have a Monday night game, which we'll also talk about later on towards the end of the show. But yeah, so we're gonna start off with the Saturday games. And this week 18 kicked off with the Pittsburgh Steelers going into Baltimore, and that's some nasty conditions, and beating the Baltimore Ravens, who sat most of these starters in this game, 17-10. The big play in this game, Mason Rudolph connecting with Deontay Johnson for I believe it was a 55-yard touchdown pass to put that game away for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that win right there gave Pittsburgh a fighting chance to get into the playoff. They need a couple of things to go down for them to clinch a playoff spot. But that was a good way to start, right? Ian?
I mean, I'll say this, for Baltimore to help Pittsburgh get into the playoffs is definitely a rare situation. But when you really stop and analyze it, Baltimore helped Pittsburgh just to get curb stomped by Buffalo next week. So, I mean, when you really stop and analyze it, Baltimore wasn't doing Pittsburgh a favor. They were actually hurting Pittsburgh because they got to go to Buffalo and they're going to get absolutely demolished. But I will say Tyler Huntley, still University of Utah legend, good backup quarterback. I have nothing but praise for Tyler Huntley. Lamar Jackson, MVP in the NFL. I've been saying that for weeks now, that Lamar Jackson will be your MVP. He has been the best quarterback all year long. And no doubt about it, if Lamar Jackson and the starters were playing in this game, Baltimore would have won and have sent Pittsburgh packing. So I mean, 17-10, but Baltimore really wasn't sweating it. They already had the number 1 seed in the bag. They were not worried at all.
So, yeah, man. A couple of key losses too. Even though Pittsburgh did win this game, I know T.J. Watt, had a what they call an MCL sprain, right?
It was MCL sprain. Yes.
Yes, and he is questionable for this week game at Buffalo. So we're gonna follow the injury report about that throughout the week. T.J. Watt going into this game, because if they don't have T.J. Watt going into Buffalo, it's gonna really get spooky in Buffalo. So
TJ Watt, gotta give him props though. Back to back seasons, we're having the most sacks in the NFL, which is definitely a rare feat. We haven't seen that in decades for a guy to have most sacks in back to back years.
Yeah, so yeah, kudos to TJ Watt for sure. Then we move along to the primetime game on Saturday. It was the Colts and the Texans, 23-19. The Houston Texans pulling it out on the road, man. Led by CJ Stroud. They open up the game with a 75-yard touchdown pass to Nico Collins to open things up in that game. Colts, they fought. Jonathan Taylor had a big game. I believe he rushed for 165 yards in that game, and also scored a touchdown. But it came down to that final play where it's still questionable why Jonathan Taylor is not in the game on 4th down. And to put Goodson in that predicament, and he dropped the ball. Like Minshew said, could throw a better ball, but I would want my star running back in the backfield for a play like that. But that play sealed things for the Houston Texans and locking them in for a playoff, clinching a playoff spot right there, and giving them a fighting chance for the AFC South going into Sunday. So what was your thoughts about this game, Ian?
See, now I was at a hockey arena, so I wasn't able to see a lot of this game. But what I will tell you about Goodson is after the game, and doing his post-game interview, and he kind of was emotional. Like you could tell that he didn't mean to drop it. It wasn't like he purposely dropped or anything. Like I feel bad for Goodson. And I will say, by the way, I know sports fans, I know that we sometimes go overboard. Sometimes we go crazy with our fandom. But, to really go on social media and trash this guy for dropping a pass, I've always felt like that's disrespectful. You know what I mean, June? Like if the guy drops one ball, all of a sudden you're going to trash him on social media. People have sent death threats in the past to players because they've dropped passes. Like, I feel like as sports fans, we shouldn't be doing that. So I will say about Goodson, unfortunately, it was a play that happened. I do not consider him at fault when it comes to that situation. It was just a play that could have happened. Now, about Houston itself, about CJ Stroud, should have been number 1 overall pick. But, hey, you know what? What already happened. Carolina made their mistake. Houston, they got a positive from it. And Houston now in the playoffs, you're going to have Joe Flacco taking on CJ Stroud, the weirdest age gap in all of football in the playoffs next week. So you are definitely going to have a good matchup, but Houston Texans doing good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. He was also emotional, CJ Stroud, after the game because, a lot of people counted Houston out. If we go back in August, a lot of people would have been picked. A lot of people had Jacksonville winning this division for sure. Nobody really had Houston winning it, but CJ Stroud definitely stepped up. The rookies that they drafted, they did a great job drafting. Not just CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, who played a big part in the game on Saturday. Tank Dell, who's out for the season, but he was playing well. So they also did a great job, drafting and bringing some veteran pieces in there.
I will mention, by the way, Tank Dell, Will Anderson. Houston only got those 2 because of Deshaun Watson. Like the Deshaun Watson trade, the trade tree from it, they got so many picks in that deal. So if the Houston Texans want to send any cards or want to give any Christmas presents at the end of the year to any team, it's got to be Cleveland. because they got Deshaun Watson. Houston got 8 picks in return and got guys like Tank Dell and Will Anderson. So.
Yeah. And BJ just mentioned it, man. Watson, the script that everybody talking about how the NFL scripted this playoff. Watson, even though he's not playing, he will probably most likely be on the sideline. Will be going back to Houston for a playoff game when the Cleveland Browns visit Houston. First game on Saturday, actually, 4:25.
First game Saturday.
So should be a good one. So Houston winning this game set things up for Sunday with the Jacksonville Jaguars visiting the Tennessee Titans, and the Titans came out firing. They intercepted Trevor Lawrence twice in this game, right? I believe, 2 times.
Yep, Trevor Lawrence had a terrible game.
Terrible game. Picked the wrong day to have a terrible game. The Titans did what they had to do, man. Derrick Henry rushing for 153 yards in this game. I know the DeAndre Hopkins, who had some incentives, extra incentives coming into this game that he needed to hit. I think he hit those incentives. Did he? I know he caught a touchdown. Yes, I know he needed a touchdown in a certain amount of yards. I think it was 40 yards to hit the incentives. Yep. And he did both of those things in this game. And Jaguars had a shot, man. They definitely had a shot. They was right there in the red zone. I think they was on the goal line at one point. Didn't connect on the try to tie the game up. So it's gonna be a long season, and we got word just before the show that they got fired their defensive coordinator. Especially after that performance. So yeah, man. With that loss right there, definitely clinch a spot for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And with that, with Jacksonville losing, Houston now won the AFC South, and host a home game next week. So, man, and a lot more things came out this game. Derrick Henry, this might be Derrick Henry last game as a Tennessee Titan. They gave him the mic to talk to the fans. He was thanking the fans for his 8 years there as a Tennessee Titan. And it remains to be seen, man. Where do you see Derrick King Henry landing at? Yeah, where do you see him? Right.
So here's what I can say about Derrick Henry. Well, first off, 8 amazing seasons in Tennessee. I mean, he's going to be in the Titans Ring of Honor by the time he retires, no doubt about it. People are saying that his 22 jersey might be retired by the Titans. Might be. I can make an argument for it. You can make an argument against it. But he definitely would be in the conversation for that. Now, I'm going to say that Derrick Henry going to Dallas as a veteran running back. As somebody hold on, wait a minute. As a veteran running back, signing a 1-year deal, getting to put on the iconic helmet, putting on one of the nicest jerseys in all of football. I'm just going to say when it comes to Derrick Henry, I would not be shocked if he puts on that cowboy blue.
Oh, my God. I do not need to see Derrick Henry 2 times a year against my Giants. Because that's the only thing I feel like Dallas is missing is a power back now. So I do not need those problems in the NFC East. A lot of people that I talk to say they'll agree with you. That might be his landing spot.
So let me ask you, and let me ask all of the audience, people watching around the world, if at this point in time, is Derrick Henry a Hall of Famer? Like, if he retired today, would he be a Pro Football Hall of Famer?
The numbers, he got the numbers to back it up. I think he would. He got the numbers to back it up. I think he would. People in the chat, what y'all think? People in the chat, y'all feel like he's going to be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done? Ryan, I see Ryan say if Henry would look good in black and purple, sit your ass down somewhere. Hall of Famer. Ryan do say Hall of Famer. Okay.
I mean, I'll say this. I mean, 3-time All-Pro. He won Offensive Player of the Year. I think 2020 or 2021. It was one of those years. But, Derrick Henry definitely accomplished, did a lot of good in the NFL. And I've always said that if you're a multi-time All-Pro, you normally get in the Hall of Fame. If you've been All-Pro multiple years, good amount of seasons as a All-Pro, that you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. So by that logic, I say that Derrick Henry does get in the Hall of Fame, and he does join that list of players from the Tennessee Titans / Houston Oilers in the Hall of Fame.
All right. Okay, so as we move along, man, the Bucks clinching things, beating this looked like a baseball score. Looked like the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Well, Carolina don't have a baseball team, do they? No. But Tampa Bay being the Carolina Panthers 9-0 yesterday to clinch the NFC South and, locking them in for hosting a playoff game against the Philadelphia Eagles next Monday night. Your thoughts about this game, man?
I mean, you had Tampa Bay Rays beating the Charlotte Knights 9-0. Pretty much had a major league team going against a minor league team. That's what it looked like.
Okay.
And it seemed like Tampa Bay really didn't have to show up at all. I mean, they really didn't have to break a sweat, really didn't have to try. Carolina, worst team in football. We knew this was going to be the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
But this game does worry me, and let me explain to you why it worries me. The way Tampa Bay has played the last couple of games, the way they struggled against New Orleans, and the way that they have performed against teams that are kind of competitive in the NFL, they are not dominating these teams. They're not putting up a lot of points against these teams. And now you're heading into the playoffs, and you're heading into the playoffs against Philadelphia. Now, I get it. Philadelphia, they have some injuries. I get it.
A lot of injuries.
But it's still a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been struggling against teams that are playoff caliber recently the last couple of weeks. So I will say for Tampa Bay, I don't know how this looks moving forward, but hopefully they can shake it off come playoff time, but not a good look how the last couple of weeks have been mediocre.
Yeah. This is a game, this especially next week game, man. Nah, I don't like Michigan. My bad. I'm on Instagram too right now. I got Instagram people tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Check out the YouTube page and the Facebook page to see a better view of the show. But now I don't like Michigan tonight. But back to what I was saying. Both teams are going in this matchup struggling. When you talk about the Bucks, they're struggling offensively. The finals this 2 weeks in a row. They can't get their offense going. The Saints pretty much shut them out in that game, even though they scored 2 garbage touchdowns at the end. But yeah, man, they need to definitely get it going, especially against a Philly team that have history going in there just this past season. I believe on Monday Night Football too, beating the Bucks and Tampa. So yeah, Baker need to get it going. I know he's dealing with a rib injury. So they need to get it going.
Let's not forget Philadelphia beat Tampa Bay by double digits in their previous matchup. So
yeah. So James, what's going on? They will send us home. Philly fans are so down on themselves today, man. My guy James, who's a Philly fan, saying Mike Evans, the guy who will put on his show. We'll see, man. We just mentioned, man, they're struggling offensively. Talking about your Philadelphia Eagles, now we move over to the NFC East, where the division was on the line yesterday, and you had the Dallas Cowboys going into Washington, which if they win this game, they'll definitely lock the NFC East. And that's what they did, man. They went into Washington and take care of business against the Washington Commanders, 38-10. Dak had a big day. CD Lamb doing CD Lamb things. Probably the best receiver in football. He locked that down yesterday for sure. And Philadelphia, in the words of my guy Ron Thomas, what happened, baby? What happened? It opened up the season, good blazing. They was hot, and after that Kansas City win and Monday Night Football was a hard-fought win. They never recovered after that win. After that, man, the San Fran game, it just went downhill after that. San Fran, Dallas, Seattle, then they played the Giants, which I believe the Giants should have won that game. Then getting bullied by Arizona in the second half last Sunday, then this performance on the road where they was dropping like flies in this game. AJ Brown going out with injury. Devontae Smith, I believe, went out with an ankle injury. Jalen Hurts, dislocating his middle finger. You know, what happened with Philly? What's going on in Philadelphia?
So I have to answer this question by giving you an important question back. Why is it that teams that have a very good momentum riding very high beginning of the year, they plateau? And then when they plateau, they try to keep up that momentum from earlier, and then it just crashes downhill, goes off a cliff. We see it with Arizona a few years ago, Pittsburgh 2 years ago. I mean, June, we've been seeing it time and time again. If you come out to a great start, you go 8-0, 9-0, 10-0, man, these teams crash. And the only way I could put it, June, is like when you have a bunch of sugar, right? You got that sugar high, you're feeling pretty good. And then what happens when that sugar wears off? You crash. So I'm going to say for Philadelphia, they just did what Arizona did 2 years ago, Pittsburgh the year before that. It's just when you have such a hot start to the year, all you care about is continuing that streak. And once that streak ends, you fall off a cliff.
Yeah. As far as the Cowboys, man, impressive win yesterday. It is the Commanders. The Commanders season was over. in early November, but they rolling. They got the offense going, man. And with that win, definitely clinched the number 2 seed, and we'll host the Green Bay Packers on next week. Should be an interesting matchup. I feel like these teams just meet. That's another matchup that we always see in the playoff for years. And I know you're gonna be rooting for the Dallas Cowboys to.
For sure.
As a Chicago Bears fan, listen, I got a Dallas fan that want to tune into the show. Hey, you can't tune in like that. I'm gonna send you the link to tune in, man. But I'm gonna send you the link. You got to tune in on here, man. I can't just bring you in on Instagram. I'm gonna send you the invite.
Look, as a Bears fan, obviously, I'm going to root for Dallas to beat Green Bay, to beat my arch rival, my nemesis. I understand that. But even if it wasn't in that circumstance, Dallas has a great team. I have to always give credit where credit is due. Dallas does a great job when it comes to developing players, drafting them, developing them, getting them into the system. Their offensive line has been pretty solid majority of the time. They got one of the best receivers, top 2 in CeeDee Lamb. No doubt top 2 receiver in the NFL. Dak Prescott, top 5 quarterback this year, the way he's been performing. If the Dallas Cowboys can make it past the second round, they can go up against Detroit, for example. Do not be surprised if Dallas meets San Francisco in the NFC Championship game. I will not be surprised at all if that streak of 27 years is finally snapped. So,
hey, it gotta stop. It gotta snap or stop some way, somehow, right? Let me see. Hey, this is Cowboy fan. Let me see if I could bring him in. Let me see if we can hear him, man. Let me see if we can hear him. And he only got 2 minutes to say what he got to say. Let me see. It's gonna bring him in. It's not bringing him in, so don't worry about it. All right.
No, but how do you feel though? Like as a Giants fan, how do you feel about both of those teams in the playoffs?
Dallas is rolling right now. They definitely have a shot this year. They definitely have a shot this year to make that run, man. A lot of fans feel like, since Jimmy Johnson got inducted to the Cowboys Hall of Fame, now the curse is lifted. And, if it's any team that could give the 49ers a run for their money, and when they clicking on all cylinders, it will be the Cowboys. When they clicking on all cylinders. When the last 2 times we've seen them against the 49ers, and they haven't looked good. But if they could put a great game plan together, I believe the Cowboys could definitely give the 49ers a run for their money for sure. But as far as Philadelphia, let's keep it real. When they was winning early in the season, the offense didn't look that great when it was winning. It just the league caught up to what they was doing. You know, the defense. And let's talk about the defense. The front four, I think they got one of probably the best front four in football. You could put them up there with the Baltimore Ravens and the 49ers.
Defensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, Jalen Carter for sure. Yeah. Definitely up there. But when you get to that back seven, that's when it gets scary. And they haven't played well in that back seven all year. So yeah. Yeah, we finally got our guests in the building. What's up, man?
Joe, you send me through all this link and all this stuff, Joe. I don't got time for all that. I want to come to you directly, dog. When I send you a request, you just accept it. So
hey, yo, I only got 2 minutes. Say what you got to say about them damn Cowboys. You only got 2 minutes.
That's all right. That's all the time.
Hurry up.
That's all the time I need.
Okay, now, come on.
I hear the young brother talking about.
Yes, Ian, my man, Ian with Kelly.
Let's get into the Shigos momentarily.
Shigos, okay.
Talking about the Shigos or whatnot, but check this out, man. You know, they shot their load, though. You know what I'm saying? I said it all year. They were just getting by. You know, I said it all year. The offensive and the defensive coordinator that they lost coming into this year was going to be a problem, right?
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is a one-read quarterback. You understand what I'm saying? You know, it only take the league 1 year to catch up to you. You know how it goes, Joe, right? He's a slant and a go route quarterback. That's it. He's not sitting in the pocket reading his reads and all that stuff. The league caught up to Philly. So okay. I wasn't surprised. I really wasn't surprised. You know what I'm saying? Down the stretch. Now, the Cardinals, the Giants, you know, more so the Cardinals, they surprised me when they lost.
They bullied them. They bullied them in the second half. They bullied them.
Right. You know, because the Cardinals was a sneaky team. They beat us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They beat us early. Joe, look at my Cowboy. Look at Dallas right here. We ready for the playoffs.
I see y'all ready. Now, what y'all gonna do? Is this the year? Forget the forget the Eagles. If this is the year.
Now let me get to the 2023 division.
Chance, okay.
Now check this out. Joe, 4 is ready for the postseason.
Yeah, he didn't want to take it. He didn't want to take that cap yesterday. He don't want the cap. He said.
I'm gonna tell you what game that he let me know he was ready. Now I'm gonna go all the way back to the beginning of the year. It was the Chargers game in Week 6, Joe, when we was on the road. We've been struggling all year on the road. The game was when we played the Chargers and he marched down and in the last 2-3 minutes.
Monday Night Football.
Quarterbacks judge what they can do in the last 2-3 minutes of the fourth quarter when the game is on line.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was that game, right? It was the Seattle game, right? It was the Dolphins game. We lost that game, right? But he marched down and for 3 minutes and 11 seconds, we won that Dolphins game. You know what I'm saying? Defense we couldn't get a stop.
Couldn't get a stop. They kicked the field goal.
Right. And then it was the game before this game yesterday. It was the Detroit game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, dog, 4 is ready. And for me, this is the best situation to be in the number 2 seed for us to get to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. 2 home games. 2 home games. Then
this is what I'm saying.
2 home games, and you might have to go to Santa Clara one more time. And I think you won it. You won it like that, right?
No, I'm looking forward to it.
You won it like that. Okay.
If we can take care of our business this week, and then hopefully God will we win this week.
Hey, June, check the time.
Get to Santa Clara. I wouldn't have it no other way, dog. I wouldn't have it no other way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Joe, let me tell you this though, man.
Hey, we got a couple more. We got a couple of seconds, man. Come on.
4 is ready, dog.
4 ready. 4 ready.
You know
okay. Last time Green Bay was in Dallas years ago.
Hey, Joe, see the difference between 16 and right now 8 years later? I ain't worried about that. I'm not worried about that. Because 4 has taken that step that we needed him to take, Joe. You know what I'm saying? And dog, we ready, man. We ready. But Joe, I'm gonna leave you with
all right. Leave me.
I'm gonna leave you with this one right quick. Saquon coming to Dallas next.
All right, that's when the conversation over. I'll talk to you later. All right, bye, man. All right, yo. All right. I can't even X you out. I don't know how to. What's the name? Get you out of here, man.
I'm going to ShopRite this week to get all type of cheese this week, dog. You know what I'm saying? Prosciutto, mozzarella, honey jack cheese, whatever you want, dog.
All right, man. X out of here, man. I don't even know how to X out this thing. All right, there you go. All right, man.
Man, you made me almost put my producer cap on, man. I was gonna be like, 45 seconds, half a minute.
Hey, look, I didn't know how to exit out of it, man, but he always make a guest appearance on the show every year to talk about his boys, man. And when I used to do June's Monday Quarterback, he was my co-host. One of my first co-hosts is on the show every Monday, man. And then we used to do it at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. every 12 o'clock in the afternoon. But moving along. AFC East, talking about the other side of the East, man. Buffalo Bills, man, going to Miami and beat the Miami Dolphins 21-14. They gutted out that win in the final. Great defensive stop by the Buffalo Bills because the Dolphins was driving to go tie that game up. But Buffalo, man, one of the hottest teams coming into the playoffs. As a Giants fan, I've seen runs like this before. From teams, as a wild card team or, just rolling into the playoff hot. And Buffalo is one of those teams that could go all the way. That could give the Baltimore Ravens problems. That could give Kansas City problems, as you can see this year. Do you believe that? Yeah.
When Buffalo is on all cylinders, when Buffalo is at its peak and they're running at, 9,000 RPMs, they are a top 5 team in the NFL. When they are all working together like a well-oiled machine, Buffalo is a top 5 team. And we're seeing that right here, right now. Buffalo, last couple of weeks, has been on it time and time again. And if there was any team that peaked at the right time, there's any team that showed momentum at the right time, it was Buffalo. So for the Buffalo Bills, I give them props. Congratulations. You beat Miami. You won the AFC East. Now you're going to go up against Pittsburgh, who's not going to have TJ Watt, so you're going to probably win that game. Now, the main question is going to be this. Can you beat Mahomes in Kansas City in the playoffs? That's going to be the main question, June. Can Buffalo go into Kansas City? Can Buffalo and Kansas City? Who's going to win that matchup? Because
wait. Kansas City? I thought
no, so Buffalo's a 2 seed, Kansas City is a 3 seed. So Buffalo would be
we'll host if Kansas City wins against Miami. We'll host what's the name? So Buffalo have the chance. This is what they wanted against Kansas City. Is for some reason, those games in the playoff has been in Kansas City. But if Buffalo win and Kansas City win, it will be a Buffalo. So I think they definitely do have a shot.
Because they've been bangers, though. Like, no doubt about it. The last 2 times they have met in the playoffs, they have been instant classics.
So. Yeah. So it might set up for another one. And remember this season, those 2 teams played each other, and it came down to that play, that Kadarius Toney play, where he lined up offside. So we'll see.
It's very familiar with the Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers back in the day. Like, you remember that little stretch of time when Brady and Rivers met every single year, every other year in the playoffs?
Yeah. So it definitely do remind me of that. The NFC North, man, matchup right here. You had the Green Bay Packers. They win. They end. And they beat your Chicago Bears 17-9. Thoughts on this game, Ian? I'll let you take this. This is your team.
See, look, every sport, doesn't matter what sport it is, there will be one team you just cannot beat. It doesn't matter what year, what decade, doesn't matter what quarterback, what pitcher, what goalie. It doesn't matter who it is. You can't beat a certain team. And Chicago, we could go 15-2, right? But those 2 losses would be against Green Bay. It's just the reality of it. Yeah. Like, for some reason in Chicago, we just cannot beat Green Bay. And I'm not going to take anything away from what Green Bay is doing. Jordan Love, good quarterback. He is a franchise quarterback in Green Bay. He's solidified.
Yeah.
but Chicago has a quarterback problem. I've been saying it for about 4 years now. The Chicago Bears do not have a superstar. The Bears do not have a franchise quarterback. What they have, again, is an average quarterback who's in the wrong system in Chicago. Justin Fields, as long as he's with the Bears, will not flourish. Yeah. That's why I've been telling Falcons fans, give us 2 second-round picks. We'll give you Justin Fields, and you try to fix him. Try to fix the fact that he cannot read a defense to save his life. Fix the fact that when his first option is taken, he runs because he panics. Yeah. Fix the fact that he does 5 Mississippis in the pocket and then tries to get the ball out. Like, this isn't flag football. You can go after 1 Mississippi, but Justin Fields, for some reason, loves to just take his sweet time in the pocket, and then when he's about to get sacked, try to dish it out. So,
you know how I feel about Justin Fields, but before I go on my soliloquy about Justin Fields, my guy Jamil Drummond just joined us on the show, man. What's going on, Drum?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much.
49er fan in the
bang,
building.
Niner gang, right?
In the building. Justin Fields, you know how I feel about Justin Fields. I like Justin Fields. Is he in the right system? Is he on the right team? Probably not. He might need a change. It might come this year, because usually when you get a new GM and a new coach, and which they had Ryan Poles, right?
Ryan Poles is our general manager.
Yes. Technically, Justin Fields is not his quarterback. He didn't draft Justin Fields. So he have an opportunity in this draft to go get his quarterback and they didn't fire Eberflus, right? Yet, right?
No.
And look like they might keep him. It is Black Monday.
Unfortunately, they're going to keep the head coach, offensive coordinators. They should let go, but that's his point.
Yeah. Okay. So he have this the draft where he could go get his guy. Caleb Williams is projected to be the quarterback, number 1 quarterback. So they got a lot of decisions to make in Chicago.
If Marvin Harrison Jr. is not the number 1 pick, I riot. So
right. Yeah.
Justin Fields just need the right guy. That's it. I mean, you could ship them out as a team if you want, but most of these quarterbacks, when they come in, these young quarterbacks, the problem is they just don't have the right guy coaching them.
You got to be in the right system.
You got to be. I mean, you got to be in the right system, but I also think you got to have the right voice, right? I learned that way back with Jim Harbaugh and Alex Smith, right? Like, they literally booed Alex Smith off the field, and they wanted David Carr in the game, right? But when Jim Harbaugh got there, what happened? This guy, what was that? No, that wasn't the NFC Championship, but that was the game before the championship when they beat the Saints, and he made that big play. And he was playing a high-level football before then. Look at Geno Smith, right? Geno Smith was terrible, right? He goes to the Seahawks, right? And he's a good quarterback.
Rejuvenated his career. Yeah.
Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's a really good coach.
Yes, these guys are always just, in my opinion, a guy away. And like I said, it would be terrible for Chicago to let a guy like that go, but they might have to, right? Business wise and everything, they might have to, but that is a guy. And you're right when you said, hey, all he do, 1 Mississippi and run and all. This is very true, but he needs a guy. And sometimes, they get guys that can't relate to him. Sometimes they try to force these guys to do things that's not natural to them, and then you have problems. Young quarterbacks, man, it's like a hit or miss, right? Like you got a skilled guy, but you do the wrong things to him early. And these days when you draft high, he got to play now. That's very dangerous. Back in the day, what happened? You draft a guy and he got to sit, right? Who was the last person that did it for us? Was Aaron Rodgers, sat behind Brett Favre, right?
Patrick Mahomes sat for an entire year.
Mahomes sat, right? Like, some of these guys got to sit. And also, it seems like we're afraid of quarterback competition. We don't have that anymore. Back with the 49ers, back with Steve Young, Joe Montana, these guys were competing to be the starting quarterback. And now it's like, oh, well, if you put him in a competition, it might hurt his feelings. There we go. 2023.
I do want to clarify one part because I do see it in the chat here. Now, I'm not saying that I dislike Fields as a person, but here's what I'm saying as a player.
Yeah.
As a player, I think he needs to go someplace else, and he needs to go to a different system. The Bears system does not work for him. If he goes to Atlanta, I think that system might work for him because he got Robinson, London, Pitts. He's going to have a system that he can kind of try to be built around. The Bears system mostly consists of the running back. That's been that way for 40, 50, 60 years. We rely on the running game, and then we do passing plays, every once in a while. That's been the Bears' motto, which is why the running backs, by the way, get a huge percentage of the load. We've been doing that for years. So I look at the Bears and I say, Justin Fields does not fit the system that we currently do. We need to bring in a quarterback who actually could fit that system. Let Fields go to Atlanta or let him go to someplace else that the system is better for him.
Hey, let me ask a question. Why is CJ Stroud working?
Because DeMeco Ryans has, well, actually, I was going to say Lovie Smith, honestly, if you want to be real. Lovie Smith built a system in Houston that is actually benefiting a young quarterback like Stroud. He came in, and it's a system that's really helping him develop.
Okay. And that's what I mean. I think sometimes we all look for like this one thing, right? This one formula that works. And I don't think that's what it is. I think sometimes some guys are just confident enough. I think sometimes some guys are in the right system. I think sometimes some guys are just ballers, right? And I think that there's a number of reasons why people work, right? Look at Brock Purdy, right? Brock Purdy was a weak arm, small guy. But the one key thing is he played football for 4 years, right? So he got a lot of football underneath him. And then when I looked at the way Brock was playing when he first got in, and I kind of went back to his college tape, I'm like, yo, he kind of looked like the same guy, right? So it's like with better weapons, right? And so like, and then you got somebody like Kyle Shanahan who is going to be able to limit the noise around you as a quarterback, and you'll be able to function. We know Kyle could do that with, he can make Nick Mullins look like a good quarterback for a couple of weeks. He could make Jimmy Garoppolo look way better than what he really is, right? But I just think that is just, circumstance and situations that people fall into. And like I said, Justin Fields, that guy is for real. And I just wish he was with something or someone that could really showcase what he can do, because he's the real deal.
Yep. So we'll see what the offseason brings for the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields. So this the NFL playoff bracket, man. Is, like I mentioned earlier, man, it is set, man. You got the Ravens and the 49ers are the number one seeds in each conference. They'll have a first round bye. Then you got 6 playoff games this weekend. Starts on Saturday with the Browns and the Texans. Should be an interesting matchup. Then what matchup are y'all interested to see? Give me one matchup that you're interested to see. Ian.
So what matchup do I really want to see? Now, I could be biased. Now, I could be biased and go Cowboys and Packers because I want to see the Cowboys absolutely obliterate the Packers. It'd make my Bears' heart, very much happy. But taking that out of the equation, I really have to say the Buffalo Bills, Pittsburgh Steelers, because I really want to see how Buffalo is going to play against the Steelers team that may or may not have TJ Watt. I mean, this is a Steelers team, but doesn't know who the quarterback is. Najee Harris has been a top 10 running back this year. He has really improved over this year, gotten a lot better. Yeah. Then you have Deontay Johnson, George Pickens. When he shows up, he balls out. Yeah. So the Pittsburgh Steelers got into the playoffs for a reason. And the Buffalo Bills, they are top 5 in offense, and I think top 10 in defense. So I will say the Bills and Steelers will be the game to watch.
That's the 1:00 game on Sunday. So that should be an interesting one. Drum, which game are you interested to watch?
This weekend,
Yeah.
I'm interested in the Eagles.
Mm.
I'm so interested in the Eagles because I do think that they have the players.
Yeah.
And I do think that, they could be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting up here saying, where are these guys? And what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm thinking about the way they did the schedule too. It's just something that's sticking out to me about the way they said they used that Amazon, that AWS.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at that schedule, especially adding the extra week to the NFL season, you look at the 49ers going their 3-game losing streak early and everybody lose their mind, right? You look at the Dallas Cowboys, who kind of like, they didn't really have a streak, but they had spots.
Yeah.
But they lost. And then you look at the Eagles, where they started off hot and then they ran out of gas. And so it looks like to me, and then they had a nerve to have all of the games to be determined at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's telling me that whatever computer system, whatever formula that they used, they knew that there were going to be a number of different outcomes that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just said, look, man, let's let the schedule play out the way it's going to play. And, we did get one game, that the final game to decide, who was going to the playoffs. It was such a bad look for the Jaguars. But I'm on the Eagles right now.
Yeah.
And for me, the Eagles, I feel like they're not listening to their coaches and they just out there for themselves.
So you feel like Nick Sirianni losing the locker room? Can you hear me? Y'all can hear me?
No, we got you loud and clear. Yeah, Jim,
Okay.
we have you loud and clear.
John, you muted. You're muted. I can't hear you.
Hey, you're muted, man. You're muted.
StreamYard probably his first time using StreamYard. All right,
it's live, folks. It's live, folks. Anything can happen.
My matchup is the Detroit Lions and the Rams. That's my most exciting matchup to see. Sunday Night Football. Stafford going back to Detroit, where it all started at. Golf going against his team that he once led into the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. So it's definitely going to be a good matchup to see. Both teams, if the office is going, man, it's definitely exciting to watch. So let's see, man. Let's see. So I know Detroit did take a kind of hit yesterday, losing Sam Laporta. Look like he's out indefinitely. And won't play next week. So that's the one thing you gotta look out for.
But they do have a receiver with some extra motivation, though.
Yeah,
Amon-Ra St. Brown be a snub from the Pro Bowl. Yeah, he's definitely
big time snub. It was Black Monday around the league. Today you had things kicked off with Atlanta Falcons coach Arthur Smith getting fired after the team didn't look good towards the end of the season at all. And, he went out cursing people out, cursing Dennis Allen out for sure.
My only rebuttal, June, about that is this. Okay, you want to cuss out a coach for scoring. Yeah. Well, honestly, you should have been cussing out your players for allowing them to score.
Cool, yeah.
If your team is good enough, they shouldn't have been allowed to score. Mm-hmm. So if you're angry, be angry at yourself because you allowed the Saints to put up that many points against you in your final game as a head coach. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying as an NFL head coach. I'm saying as a coach. Yeah. He's not going to be an NFL. He's not going to be a head coach once again. He'll be back to being an offensive coordinator. He'll be an offensive analyst someplace else. June, I've been saying this for a long time. There is like 4 groups of coaches in the NFL. Yeah. There are the Hall of Famers, the legendary coaches. They'll be there for 2.5 decades. They are Hall of Famers. Mm-hmm. Then you have the great coaches that will get you to a Super Bowl. That's what they'll be known for. Yeah. Then you have the good coaches who will get you to the playoffs. They'll be around for a couple of years, but they won't really be memorable about a decade from now.
Yeah.
And then you have your average coaches. Okay, they're like vanilla ice cream, June. That's all they are. They're average coaches. They're gonna have their one stint as a head coach. They'll get fired, and then you will never hear from them again.
Yeah, Arthur Smith on that list, huh?
Arthur Smith, you'll never hear from him again. This was his one shot. He took it. It didn't work out. Now we're not going to hear from you again.
Another coach we not going to hear from probably for a while. Ron Rivera. You know, he was dealing with some health issues, and as a Commanders coach, but yeah, man. It haven't worked out the past couple of years, and they got rid of Ron Rivera today, firing them. Everybody's seeing this coming. Thoughts about that? Ron Rivera being out of the Commanders.
I just think,
yeah.
Am I here? Am I back?
Yeah, you good. You good now?
I mean, Ron, man. I mean, Riverboat Ron. I've been kind of like looking at them, and honestly, he deserved to be fired. I mean, he just haven't done a good job. Those guys didn't really look good. I thought they were looking good in the beginning of the season. Bieniemy went over there, and I thought, that they was going to make a change and, turn it around. But actually, nah, they just kind of like fell apart. And I'm definitely not surprised. As a matter of fact, I thought they already fired him, to be honest. I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
That River got fired, man.
Yeah. I don't know if he's gonna get another opportunity.
I don't need the coach, man. Come on, man. It's too much out there, man. He can't be. Come on, man. He gotta go, man.
I guess when you throw drinks at fans, you also get fired. Panthers GM got fired. Was it the GM that threw it? No, it was the owner.
So
it was
the owner was who tossed a drink on someone.
He tossed a drink on somebody.
But he had to fire the GM as proxy.
Yeah, had to fire the GM.
Right. Somebody had to get fired.
David Tepper is one of the worst owners in the NFL, though. Like, facts. Yeah. He is one of the worst owners in football. He really should be fired as an owner. Like, I mean, David Tepper is absolutely terrible. So
yeah. Giants also cleaned house today, getting rid of the offensive line coach Bobby Johnson, who's the offensive line was Giants offensive line led the league in giving up sacks this year. So I guess that was only right. And the defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale, resigned. I also seen this coming because him and Dable was not getting along. I know there was a lot of back and forth on the sideline between those two, and during the bye, they had to have a kumbaya together to get things going again. So I like Wink Martindale. I don't think he was the problem. The offense has been the problem for the Giants. The Giants signing, Daniel Jones. A lot of people saying he definitely didn't deserve that contract, and he making people look right.
But Joe, let me ask you a question. When the season first started, right?
Yeah.
What as a Giants fan, what did you think that the Giants was going to do? Oh, the host.
My bad. Nah, I'm good.
I could do that, but you can't.
What'd you say? Repeat that again.
I said, what was your expectations as a Giants fan for the season when it first started?
I thought I was gonna see better.
You thought you were like playoff?
Yeah, fighting for a playoff spot because we in a tough division. Getting,
So I thought it could go either way. I'm gonna tell you why I thought it could go either way. Mm-hmm. The Giants and the Vikings last year, right? They had those series of games where there was a very small margin. I think it was like 3 points.
Yeah.
Right. So I felt like when I saw the Vikings, and I think it was the Giants who beat the Vikings, correct?
No, the Vikings beat us in a regular season game. I think that was like week 17.
Right, but then the Giants take them.
Then we beat them in the playoff. Yeah, we returned.
Right. But I wasn't surprised, right? Because of that margin, I felt like if you got 3 games that you could have either won or lost, and your record is close to like a 9-7 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you are a couple of plays away from not making the playoffs or making the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So I knew the Giants fans had a high expectations coming in, and I kind of thought maybe I talked to a Giants fan and I was like, I don't know. He was like, oh man, we got receivers, we got this, we got that, and I'm just like, I just don't know. Like no hate, just looking at it.
I know we ain't had no receivers. We had a tight end that we.
Yeah, so Giants record this year.
I believe we ended 6-11. 6-11.
Yeah, that to me, no. If it would have been something like a 8 or a 9,
yeah,
I would have been like, okay, that was pretty much what I.
Just two games that I believe we gave away this year was the Bills game for sure and the Jets game. Those are 2 games I'll look back in the season like Giants should have won that game, but it is what it is. Ian, you had your hand up. You wanted to say something?
So here's all I was gonna say. If you put that comment back up about listen, don't even call me about the Commander's job. Are you sure about that? Are you sure? The way Eric Bieniemy and the Commanders did in the second half of the season, are you sure that he's got that job locked up?
Yeah, I don't know. Sure I was thinking that too, but I
don't think Bieniemy is going to be the head coach. I really don't.
Might not be.
Yo, he got to get a shot, y'all. He got to get a shot somewhere. Come on.
I'm going to be honest with you, Joe. I'm going to be honest with you. Andy Reid is what made the Chiefs team work. It wasn't Bieniemy. Bieniemy was not the guy.
They also struggled this year.
They're struggling now, though.
Hold on. Do you know who their offensive coordinator is?
It's Nagy.
Matt Nagy from the fucking Bears. Of course. Matt Nagy from the Bears is the reason why they're struggling. It's not about Bieniemy. It's about the fact that
they're struggling because these guys can't catch a ball. That's why they're struggling.
I'm just saying their offensive coordinator is a guy who shouldn't even be a coach in the NFL anymore. So.
Now, look. I'll tell you this. The way everybody treating the Eagles, saying, oh, they're going to turn it on, Kansas City the ones I wouldn't turn the lights out on.
Nah.
Because we're looking at receivers that just got to catch balls, and we're looking at something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know why, everybody keep giving the Eagles these passes like, oh, they're going to turn on. And they may, but I doubt it. I really think they're going to if they play the way they've been playing, they're going out first round.
Yeah, they're going out first round. They do. They do. Kansas City, I'm not because Mahomes is under center.
Mahomes is
under center. We got 3 minutes left, man. I want to hear your thoughts. This game probably just started a few minutes ago.
Yeah, championship.
Yeah. Thoughts on this game? Who you feel like gonna win? Starting with you, Drum. Who you got in this game?
Come on, I'm a hardball guy, man.
Oh yeah, you're a hardball guy. I forgot.
Come on, man. Who's got it better than us? So
okay, you going Michigan?
No matter what, I think he's going to the NFL next year.
Yeah.
They said he got an agent. I mean, what would you get an agent for? Do all the stories you want. Why you got an agent?
Yeah, thoughts.
So when it comes to Michigan, I said this about Jim Harbaugh like way back then, and I'll say it again here. His goal and his mission statement was to have Michigan win a national championship. When he went up to the podium with his khakis and that Michigan shirt on for the first time, he said that his goal was to go back to his alma mater and win a national championship. If Jim Harbaugh wins tonight, and I believe he will leave and go to the NFL. Why? Because he achieved exactly what he set out to do. And once you achieved it, well, where else do I go from there?
Yeah.
So if Michigan wins, Jim Harbaugh will be the next coach of the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yep.
The Chargers?
He will be the next coach of the LA Chargers. I'm just putting that on record right now.
The Chargers?
Yeah, because my man called me yesterday and we was talking about it, but he said you got to understand one thing about Harbaugh. Harbaugh got to go to the right place.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of agreed yesterday that the Chargers was the place.
Mm-hmm. Falcons getting Bieniemy, Raiders getting Pierce.
Ooh, Bieniemy as a head coach or a coordinator?
Head coach.
Ooh. Head coach Eric Bieniemy, Atlanta Falcons.
And if he get Justin Fields,
look out.
That's why I said, hey, Brandon, are you sure about Eric staying in Washington? Because I don't think so.
Nah.
I don't think so at all.
Yeah. So, yeah, man.
Thanks for having me on, June.
Oh yeah, man. Man, thanks for coming on. Ian, my guy, thanks for filling in for the other guys that couldn't make it today. I want to thank y'all, man. Tomorrow, check out the Top Sports Radio, man. We got a jam-packed show for y'all. So tune into that. Wild Wednesday, we back here. Wild Wednesday, we're gonna be talking about playoff football, the national championship, all that good stuff. So tune into that. Talk you was Tuesday, also tomorrow night. Ian, will you be on there, Ian, tomorrow night?
I should be, yes.
Okay, yeah, okay. So we'll check that out. Talk you with Tuesday on the SamzSportz Multimedia Network, and that's pretty much it for this evening, man. Once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Again, man, like, share, follow when y'all get a chance, and that's it, man. We out, deuces.